Thank you, Emma, for your argument and your thoughts. I found your points really interesting, and although they were compelling, I do still strongly believe that rehabilitation within the criminal justice system would not suffice the issues already happening today in society and in the prison systems. I believe there are other things that the United States should work towards versus trying to better these criminals and set them back into the world where they could possibly get reconvicted for their previous victims or new victims. I think it's a threat to national security of sending criminals back into the world, especially those who have murdered other people or committed sexual assault. The statistic that you mentioned in your speech, quote, the fact that approximately 15 to 20% of individuals who are serving time in prison experience various mental illnesses, as the United States Department of Justice has estimated. Without rehabilitation, which is included by the American Psychology Association as a mental health service, criminals with mental illnesses would not receive the help that they need to succeed outside of prison and live a potentially crime-free life, end quote. And while it's important to note the mental well-being of criminals, I think that it shows that since they are not mentally healthy, how can they be ready to complete these rehabilitation practices if they're not 100%? I think it's a slippery slope because if they're not mentally well enough to participate in rehabilitation, then they just don't get it at all, and that leads to my point of how the solution just would not be progressive. As I stated in my debate, I said that the rehabilitation can cause negative thoughts and lead to anxiety, mood swings, or depression in criminals. We want to avoid that, so rehabilitating them would just not suffice it, as you said, that a lot of them are not mentally well. We want to make them better, not more negative, to the point where they are getting released and feel the urge to commit another crime, which goes hand in hand with your argument, therefore again leading to the conclusion that it just would not be a good solution because of the mental health of these criminals. One other thing that you mentioned was a statistic that in 2003 there were more than 2 million individuals who were serving prison time, and there were approximately 4 million more on parole or probation, and how it was a lack of up to par rehabilitation systems, and I can only imagine that those numbers have just sadly skyrocketed since. However, I feel that it is because there is just so much crime in the world, and that we're really at a point with the criminal justice system that they just don't know what to do about it, and rehabilitating criminals is not really something that we should begin with. I believe that punishment is important for criminals, and if we put rehabilitation in place, I fear that punishment will just no longer be an important factor, and there are other practices that can be in place to solve these issues without the process of rehabilitation. I also think that it could be, again, a huge threat to national security, because if these criminals know that rehabilitation is a process, they're going to commit these crimes and then just think, oh, I'm going to go do rehabilitation so that I can get out of prison. So I think it's really, again, a slippery slope of there really needs to be good morals and levels in rehabilitation so that this doesn't happen where criminals think that they can just get away with their crime that they have committed. I really appreciate your thoughts, Emma, and I hope that some of my explanations helped and persuaded you to thinking that rehabilitation is not a good solution. Thank you.